And welcome back. The ANC says it will be appealing the Durban High Court decision to dismiss its bid to have the MK Party change its logo and name. It accused the MK Party of violating the Trademark Act as they claim that the logo is part of their heritage and assets. The judge said that the ANC showed no urgency in presenting the matter with elections just weeks away. What impact will this have on the ANC and the voting landscape? Let's now get some analysis from political analyst Kedibone Phago. Prof, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. Let's start off here. It's been a hat-trick for the MK Party when it comes to court challenges in relation to it contesting these upcoming elections. But I'm wondering, though, from a political sphere, do you think that this is also translating for the MK Party and also the ANC on the other end, in this particular case, taking a hit?
Good morning, Eldrin. Yes, I think the MK Party is actually giving ANC a run for their money in a significant way. In essence, in my view, I think the MK Party managed to steal the ANC's heritage, the ANC's legacy, and they are actually using it in front of the ANC's eyes to garner votes. And we, in fact, from the polls that have been done in the past few weeks and months, that they are even much likely to be in the provincial legislatures and even in national assembly. So this tells you that whatever trick that the MK Party is using, excuse me, they are able to actually use that to their advantage. And ANC is really struggling to find a way around this and get back its name, its heritage, its identity, its history, because we all know where MK comes from. So it's a complicated legal matter, I think, because the issues of copyright are highly specialized legal issues. So it is, in my view, going to take a long time for ANCs to settle this, and at that time there would be a lot of currency that the MK Party would have acquired over time.
Yeah. Can a heritage and a legacy really be stolen?
I think that is exactly the question that we need to be engaged on. So you are raising a fundamental issue that in the manner in which this is unfolding, remember Jacob Zuma himself come from the belly of the ANC itself. So he knows the intricacies within the movement, the history, the heritage itself, the legacy of the ANC. He has connections with the founding fathers of the ANC. He has been there when we founded our democratic dispensation in South Africa. And now he comes and he says, I'm no longer ANC. Of course, he's doing that in parables. But he also comes out and he says, I am an MK Party and I'm going to contest the election. And then ANC doesn't know how to handle this. So it is really something that ANC needs to put its heads together. They need their intellectual capital. They need their veterans to sit down and think around this very critically, because the hype around this issue, it's not going to help them until they sit down and reflect very deeply around not just the copyright issue, but what it means to be an MK, and what does this say now when somebody can just go out and have a party that talks to who they are, and how should we be interpreting this as a society? So I think there are just too many mixed messages that are coming out. in trying to respond to your question that can somebody really steal your heritage and your legacy?
Yeah, because here's the point that the ANC is making is that, of course, this is the heritage and this is the legacy as well. And interesting for me is that while there is this organization called, which is called the Legacy Project, that said that it actually registered the logo and now ceding that logo to the ANC, the court, of course, said it came even after the decision that was taken by the IEC to register Umkhonto weSizwe political party. But here's the thing about it. The ANC is not even fighting Legacy Project. There wasn't a battle before this particular moment. And again, it speaks to the ANC's own inability to preserve its own heritage. Let's, for instance, have the conversation of a couple of years ago. The ANC's website. Remember at some point we had www.anc.co.za, and they don't own that website. And now we have www.anc 1912 or 1913. I'm just going to look at what the website is. But that speaks to the inability of the party to preserve its own legacy as well as its own assets.
So you are raising a very important issue, Aldrin. And for me, what you are saying is that ANC as a political party has struggled to maintain its decorum, its discipline. It has struggled to manage itself since the dawn of democracy. It has actually managed to maintain even its relevance to South African in many respects. In the provision of service delivery, it has struggled to manage municipalities where it is governing the provincial governments, even the national government. So I think ANC post-democracy has struggled to really maintain, the relevance and live up to the expectations of South Africans. And people like Jacob Zuma and many several other breakaways that came out of the ANC are the ones that are eating it out. And I think what you are raising perhaps should be an important question the party needs to be reflecting deeply on and say, how do we make an ANC brand renewed and a brand that can actually take South Africa somewhere? So many people like me, like you, across the board are thinking, is this the ANC we have envisaged post 1994, 30 years down the line when we reflect on the ANC's track record and the kind of leaders they are giving to us as a society? Are these people actually living up to the values, the morals of the ANC party that we have known, that were led by people of Nelson Mandela, people of Oliver Tambo, people of Ahmed Kathrad? So we have more questions about the current ANC political party and even in the manner that it has run its institutions, including an inability to organize itself.
Let's quickly then speak about the ANC's approach around discipline in the party. And in this particular case, speaking about somebody who says that he is a member of the ANC and stays a member of the ANC. His membership has been suspended. However, though, he is also the leader of the MK party. And as Fikile Mbalula has said, that his face will be on the ballot paper as well. However, though, the party hasn't been bold to say that we're going to expel him. Instead, Fikile Mbalula speaking about Jacob Zuma would then evoke this victimhood, and that victimhood would help carry him through these elections. But then on the other end, taking this matter to the Constitutional Court, you're still keeping the story alive.
I mean, Jacob Zuma's story in the ANC, Aldrin, it's as old as we could remember. I mean, and for me, this Jacob Zuma was made by the ANC. This did not just come overnight. And it is upon the ANC to reflect on the nature of the discipline that they want to instill and to make sure of the caliber of the cadre they want to see as a rank and file and of course in the leadership structures of the ANC. If they are not going to maintain discipline, if they are not going to make sure that the ANC members live up to the, ethical code of conduct of the ANC itself, and that they abide by the ANC's constitution, I don't think that the problem that they are facing with Jacob Zuma is going to go away anytime soon.
Sorry, Prof, do you think that the strategy for them is working to say, let's rather suspend instead of expel, where we see with other former party members of the ANC, including a former member of parliament and the provincial legislature in KwaZulu-Natal, Mervyn Dirks, he was expelled.
Yes, it's a difficult one for them, because you must remember that Jacob Zuma is a big name in the political landscape of South Africa, and so expelling him can also take a risk of having a lot of members following him. So at the same time, the delay that they are applying in trying to put their head around this gives Jacob Zuma and his MK party some currency, because they keep him in the news and so on. So that in itself, so they are finding themselves between a rock and a hard place. And of course, as I say, it is their own creation, it's their own making.
Certainly, Prof. Actually reminding me now of, remember that last motion of no confidence in former President Jacob Zuma in 2018, was it 2017, and there was that press briefing as well, where when Fikile Mbalula, the head of the elections at the time for the ANC during that policy conference, said that if you go and vote in that motion of no confidence in favor of that motion to remove Jacob Zuma, just know that you are a suicide bomber. And this is what they're dealing with now. Thank you so much for your time. That is Professor Phago, who is from the Northwest University.